Welcome back, everyone. This is Rolling Credits. We are on to season 2. You guys excited?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Get it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Season 2, baby.
We've been renewed. One.
Vicks Vapor Rub.
Vicks Vapor Rub came in strong with the renewal, so...
They're here. They're ready.
Keep the lights on.
Season 2 is going to be a good one. We have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
First of all, obviously, it's, past May the 4th be with you, but we still have to talk about Star Wars. We're going to count this whole month as Star Wars, especially because the Kenobi show comes out Memorial Weekend, which I'm stoked for. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready for it.
It's going to be top notch for sure. But yeah, today we want to talk about Star Wars. Of course, I'm joined by Kirby, Pat, and Gums as always, and I am Seth. And we'll start off first with what were your top 3 favorite Star Wars films of all time? And we're going to go with Gums first because I want to leave Kirby for last. I feel like he's going to come at us.
Why do you think he's going to come at us? Is he ready?
He's
you
ready.
A big Star Wars fan,
do you see his shirt?
OG only, man.
Today. Oh, okay. Well, I guess
OG
we know where he
only.
lies.
I got Vader's lightsaber, so I guess I'm kind of cool.
Okay, so my top 3 are going to be, I've got Rogue One, I've got Solo, and then probably for the third one, I'm going to go with Return of the Jedi, 1983. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Those are my top 3.
I think that's a respectable top 3.
Yeah.
I think it's a respectable top 3.
Yeah. And everything, because then beyond that is all the originals, and then whatever the fuck they did with the new stuff.
Yeah, then you just follow basically
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
original release and then years forward chronologically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't talk about those guys.
Yeah, exactly. Those are slipped
Different
under the rug.
universe.
Right?
Yeah.
Different multiverse.
Pat, what about you?
I'll say my number one's gonna be Empire Strikes Back. Probably mainly just due to like the weight of the main reveal that exists in that movie. I'll probably throw Rogue One in my top 3. And then I'll probably say A New Hope just because I'm a sucker for the original, like for the first one to come out, kind of thing. That's always kind of just like your first entry into the series. I kind of struggled maybe putting Solo in I'll leave that like kind of as my honorable mention. And then I'll probably also follow you and say basically in year chronological order all the way through from that, based on like films for that matter. Yeah.
I feel like I'm the only one who just didn't like Solo in this group.
I like Solo. I thought it was a good movie.
It was all right. It was fun.
I thought it was
Solo
fine.
was a fun movie, yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted them to expand on like Emilia Clarke and freaking Darth Maul, that whole situation.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll get that in the Ashoka show.
They did kind of cliffhang that, right?
Yeah.
This does kind of seem like something that was kind of left by the wayside, almost like something that they left for like a sequel that like you weren't really going to get because it was a standalone.
Yeah.
You're kind of hoping, but.
Well, he'll show up sometime in the Obi Wan show if they do a second season, right?
Oh,
Right?
most definitely, yeah.
So for me, because like I said, I'm leaving Kirby for last year. I'm going Empire Strikes Back as 1. Rogue One's 2. Absolutely love that movie. And the third one was tough because I love Return of the Jedi, but I'm actually going Revenge of the Sith. I actually love the lightsaber battles in that movie and just the whole Anakin turning to the dark side and just so much happens in the last half of that movie that's just super badass. And I could, that's the only of the prequels that I can rewatch.
So
Yeah.
were you born after 92?
No, I was
Around
91.
92? You're 91?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Why? Where are you going with this? It's only a year difference.
I mean, I was born 94, but I will say the 2000s movies to me were just very unfortunate because no matter how cool the effects were and the lightsaber battles were, they were just written so fucking poorly that you're
I was
just
just trying to see if I could be ageist in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, they were just written so.
I feel like you're 95. You're like Jar Jar,
Yeah, right.
Fuck Jar Jar. Okay.
He brought that. No, fuck that. I'm gonna call you out. You brought up Jar Jar in the green room we did the other day.
True. He's a member of the
based
Sith.
on his of the quality of, hey man, they brought us Jar Jar and we were all like, who the fuck cares about that? So I'm gonna put you on blast for that one.
Comic relief
Everyone
of Star
secretly
Wars.
loves Jar Jar, so get out of here. Okay. It's like
became a
liking
Sith,
Nickelback.
I'd
It's
be
not
down.
accepted, but we all know we like it.
It's like liking Nickelback. Wow, that might be the most accurate statement you've ever said on this podcast. If I ain't gonna lie.
He loves it. He loves it.
Nice.
Kirby, what about you?
All right. So number one for me is going to be Empire Strikes Back. It does have, the weight of that reveal. And I mean, spoilers, Darth Vader is his father. If nobody's ever seen it before.
Spoiler from 1980.
But I like it because it also it kind of strays away from the typical hero's journey that you get in the first movie. It's a little bit darker, a darker tone for the movie, and I really liked it for that reason. It also introduces Boba Fett and stuff like that, so loved that one. 2 would probably be the continuation of that, Return of the Jedi. And then 3 was actually Rogue One. I love Rogue One. I think they did a fantastic job with that. As somebody that's I've done a lot with read a lot of the expanded universe stuff and shit like that. So Rogue One was kind of a cool little thing to fit into that greater expanded Star Wars universe. So it would be those 3.
Yeah, I do think it was the best of the standalones, right?
Yeah.
I think the way that it ties together the prequels and the original series so well.
Yep.
I mean, it's that's the exact middle ground you wanted that to have. And it literally hangs at the start of A New Hope. It's perfect.
Yep.
In that sense.
Yeah, no, they did a great job with that movie. So
Yeah, and that ending is just ruthless Vader. I loved it.
Yeah.
So speaking of Vader, wanted to ask you guys, who is your favorite Sith? And I want to start with you, Kirby, this time.
I've got to go with Darth Revan. If you've played Knights of the Old Republic,
sir.
you'll know exactly who Darth Revan is. One of the few standout characters that has been both a Jedi and a Sith. Had pivotal roles in the Mandalorian War and the Jedi Civil War. So it's just an all around just awesome character.
Gums, what about you?
Yeah, I also was going with Darth Revan because this is me in a nutshell. He basically was like, "Hey, Jedi Council, we got to go end this Mandalorian war. Just let us do it." And the Jedi was like, "Nah, we like to sit on our hands with all this power." And then he was like, "Nah, I'm going, and I'm taking my homies with me." And then they all go and end the war and kill everybody. And then they find a giant shipyard that can make all these spaceships. Mm-hmm. They get corrupted by power, and then they start their own Sith thing, and they all become Sith. And then all of a sudden they get captured by the Jedi. I'm skipping a lot of shit, but they get captured back by the Jedi, and the Jedi brainwash them back to being a Jedi. And I'm like, yo, that's me in a nutshell. It's gotta be my altered life. So I also say Darth Revan for that. Runner up would probably be Darth Plagueis, the guy who tried to cheat death. I thought that was pretty sweet too.
Yep.
Pat?
I was a big fan of the Clone Wars series for a long time, so I actually really liked the story of Savage Opress, and kind of how that really started to kind of introduce the idea of Darth Maul and that whole race and kind of how those things kind of really connected together. So I thought that was a very interesting kind of storyline that they dove into, that kind of similar to what we've talked to a lot of other canon, how that tied into the rest of the films and how that really got a deep dive into kind of the kind of that witches style race and stuff like that, and how that tied in with the Siths and how Darth Sidious kind of really mingled in that race to be able to get more Sith Lords and kind of grow his power within that area. So I did really like that storyline, really liked him. I will also have to say the honorable mention to Darth Plagueis is probably up there for me as well. And I think for me, a lot of it is because I didn't dive, I think, as deep into, say, the books or even some of the games as much in Star Wars, that a lot of the kind of the lore that like sits around Darth Plagueis is very interesting, like just kind of the mystique about it, right? Even like you don't know a whole lot from like my perspective as much, and I know that there's some books that dig into it a little bit deeper, but just like how like the mystery behind it I think was very interesting behind that character.
Actually, that kind of brings up a good point, Pat. So, like Gums and Kirby, it sounds like you guys are more in tune like with the books and things like that. So, are there any books that you would recommend for like us to like learn more about like Revan and Plagueis and things like that?
Yes.
He goes back to his bookshelf.
Yeah, give me a second.
Actually, my bookshelf is in my my other room, but I have a bunch of them there.
I've heard of the characters, but I like know nothing on them. So it'd be like, at least for me personally, I think it'd be cool. Like it comes with all the books.
Damn, homie brought out a fucking library for this shit. Like,
Red Harvest is one of them.
I'm just gonna come over and borrow those books, Gums.
Yeah. So I mean, here's one about Darth Bane. I think I got them in order. Here's one about Darth Plagueis.
Yep.
Here's one about Revan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think I got two about Darth Bane, actually.
Gums, do we have all the same books?
I mean, we might.
Did we just become best friends?
Here's Fatal Alliance.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a good one called Deceived. So some of these are like from the
Deceived
Old
is
Republic.
badass. Yeah, Deceived is badass.
And then this is the Rule of Two by Darth Bane, which he's the one that created like there can only be two, a Sith and a Padawan and a Sith, or whatever they call it. Yeah,
one Sith and an apprentice. Yeah.
They have to kill you. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, hey, buddy.
Gums, if you want like a really cool read, find a book. It's like a collection of short stories called The Lost Tribe of the Sith. Okay. And it is dope. Like it's just about this this Sith warship that like crashes down on a planet that like it has something, I can't remember, I haven't read it in a while, but it has something with like a magnetic field so they can't escape this planet. So the whole thing is just them like through the ages, like the way the Sith culture just like builds and then destroys itself, and it's really cool. So Lost Tribe of the Sith, look it up.
I'm down for that. As you can see, those are all Sith books because I don't give a shit about the Jedi.
Yeah,
those are corny bastards, man.
Yeah, my choice was Vader because I don't know, I've always loved Vader.
Yeah.
And I also am a sucker for the dark side, so my guy turned hard. He killed younglings. He killed younglings.
I mean, let's be straight. He was very cool with genocide. Let's just lay it on the fucking table.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, push come to shove. Like,
he was Thanos.
It was all for love, bro.
At the end of the
you
day,
can blame anything on love, you know.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
It does make it like weirdly more like we're like, oh, okay, like yeah, I'll kill these thousands of people, like, oh, for love. You're like, no, you're a piece of shit, buddy. Like,
I would have
makes
loved
you do crazy things.
I would have loved to see like the spirits of the people he killed like enter inside his body and power him up.
Oh,
don't
God.
ask me why, but it would have gave me a better like. It would have made me understand him more. Like he's murdering people to get more powerful.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead, they just put murder of younglings on there just to put it on his fucking resume and have the movie just be like, oh my God.
Literally for his punch card. Like that was just to check the box for him.
Yeah.
Like,
It was
One more and you get a free footlong at Subway. Keep
yeah, right?
it
was like, we can't
Sith
just have him kill
bingo.
adults, we have to really make him do some heinous shit.
Some real bad shit.
2070 million, it's like 2070 77.
You guys
He really did say like anybody can catch these hands, men, women, and children.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he choked out his girlfriend, killed a bunch of younglings, and just slaughtered a
went
bunch
ham.
of motherfuckers.
While she was pregnant, by the way.
Yep.
While pregnant, yeah.
This
Maybe
this
that
dude
was just
a-
an extension of trying to kill younglings.
Yeah.
Oh.
This dude was something.
Damn.
Oh,
Somebody called Bruce Willis.
Solved.
Shit.
Damn.
sorry, this got real dark.
It did. I was actually gonna say it's funny that that whole scene. So when they like kind of scroll to Yoda, when he like grabs his like chest because he's like feeling everybody dying around him. There's like a theory that I was reading the other day when they showed in the newest Mandalorian season or the Book of Boba Fett where they show Grogu actually being like at the Order 66 or whatever.
Oh yeah.
They're saying that like Yoda was feeling Grogu's like pain. It wasn't the Jedi. It's like it's actually his son, and he was worried.
Oh, interesting.
which would make
I
sense.
did not see that.
Yeah.
Which would make some sense.
Nah, that's called a stretch.
Is it though?
But I mean, isn't most of the series a stretch, right?
Yeah.
It's fair.
They do a lot of shit where you're kind of like, yeah, it's fair.
Ray was the Skywalker and then became a Palpatine. So
But isn't that
we don't count that trilogy.
That history's off though. That history's off.
is it though?
It has to be, because how could Yoda be saying, "Oh, I feel Grogu," and Grogu is at Order 66. Grogu's maybe 100 years old. I mean, I guess that could be close, but this wouldn't be the Grogu that we've been seeing in the new film.
It does.
Or the
It
new
does.
show.
There's some time that passes.
Yeah.
It does kind of create
Yeah.
some time continuity issues.
because
little
Luke's
bit.
grown, so it had to have been at least 40 years, 30 years, 35, right? So like,
Yeah,
between
Grogu's
Order
only like
66.
50 years old. So
Yeah.
there's no way.
so like he could have been alive. He could have been really stupid young, but like, what
Maybe it was
It's a stretch.
right at the end.
Yeah.
Right at the end, Yoda was getting it on right before he died.
Yeah, because by the way, Yoda would have been like 300, so
Yeah.
he would have had a kid right before
Yeah.
he died. Unless that's something they do in their race, like they like have that
Wait
one
till they're
kid
old?
and then they die. Yeah,
Pump
like, what if
one
that's
last
why he
one out.
died?
Yeah.
What if that's why he died? He was like a male spider, and he's like you die after you give birth or something, and you get eaten by the female.
That's why he was old and
something like that.
decrepit when Luke went to him for one last time.
He gave all his energy away, so to speak.
Exactly.
And that was it.
Speaking of Yoda, who's your guys' favorite Jedi? I know you don't like Jedi, Gums, but I know you like one. You gotta like one of them.
Nah.
What do you got, Gums? Let's hear
Just
it.
nope.
Nah. I'll go with like not a canon character, but like somebody that's more recent in people's eyes. I'll go Mace Windu. I think the reason I don't like all the Jedi is, so to speak, is because they make them really weak.
That's
And
fair.
they make them super passive, except for they're supposed to be super strong, yet they do go out and murder people and they do all this stuff, and we never get to see that. Like, they do murder people and they do kill and they do all this stuff, and yet when big stuff happens, they just sit on their hands, and I hate that. But I would say Mace Windu, simply because they say his sword style was part like dark side sword style. He like used the balance of the Force in his sword style. It allowed him to use like some dark force powers. It allowed him to just do some things that other Jedi weren't able to, which made him one of the best sword wielders. And I think that was cool. And I also think it was great that Samuel L. Jackson played him, because of Samuel L. Jackson's just attitude in all his movies.
All that
where he's
swagger.
like, fuck that. Yeah, and so like I really enjoyed that because that's how I would see like that guy being portrayed, is like, I don't agree with everything, and I'm gonna see it how it is. And like when he went to kill Palpatine, that was just him. You know what I mean? He wasn't involved in them at all. He's like, nah, screw this. I'm about to go get this dude. So that's why Mace Windu is probably my favorite, and I picked him because I think people would know who that is.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason why he has a purple lightsaber. Is the purple like lightsaber color is supposed to signify like moral ambiguity. So he kind of falls like almost in like a gray Jedi type of thing. So that's makes
He's
sense.
independent.
Yeah, word is he might be returning. I mean, it's just fan.
Oh, I'd
votes.
love that.
I would love
love
But
that.
because he just got booted out the window, and they say like in Lucasfilms and in Star Wars, if you don't see the body, they're not dead.
Yeah,
and that's why
right.
Darth Maul comes back, and like all these people just keep coming back. The Emperor himself comes back because he just got kicked out of the window. Technically, he's a Jedi. He should be able to force flip or use the dark side to like survive that and maybe come back. So let's hope
Maybe
he
he'll
does.
show
come
up
back.
in the Obi Wan show.
I mean, the Star Wars, they're very good at specifically making people fall down large shafts or large things with the implication that they're dead, and then bring them back like 20 years later.
Yep.
100%.
That's like literally their MO, almost in every way, shape, and form. Like,
He also fits the whole thing with having his arm cut off. So he's in that family,
Yeah.
So yeah, he could come back. I could see it.
What about
Even
you,
stronger.
Pat? Who you picking?
kind of for similar reasons, I did always really like the Jedi Temple Knights that like kind of guarded the Jedi Temple. And mainly because their more directive was always kind of a little bit more. It wasn't as much of like that moral high ground. It was always more of the you protect this temple by hell or fucking high water. And it kind of erased a lot of kind of like the the rules behind a lot of stuff. So it became like anything that kind of happened in between, like it was their job just to kind of like go fuck some shit up for it. Also, really loved the gold double-sided lightsabers. Thought they were sick.
Ooh, yeah.
So like that always kind of hit pretty home too.
Yeah.
Kirby.
That was special to them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the cat just peeking its head in the camera.
Oh yeah. Hi.
We see cat ears.
She wants to be a part of it, you know. I'm gonna go with Satele Shan. This Jedi Master in like the expanded universe. Really skilled with both the lightsaber and just force use. She's pretty much an all-around badass. If you ever played not Knights of the Old Republic, but the Old Republic, the MMO, and saw like some of the trailers and stuff for it, she was the one that uses like a double-bladed blue lightsaber, and just fuck shit up. Like, you want to talk about Jedi not being weak? Like, she was a badass. So she could fight. She had like all the force abilities you could want. Like, this woman, almost said bitch, caught a lightsaber with her bare hand and shielded herself with the force and just like yanked it out of this dude's hand. Like, yeah.
You want to talk about a game that like I never got it, like, as a guy who likes playing MMOs, I never got like super into the Old Republic. But like even just over the years, I'm sure like most people here have probably seen them in some way, even if you don't really remember them off the top of your head. That game had some of the best cinematics.
Yeah.
For some of their expansions. Like, they had some cinematics that were arguably better than some of the newer movies. Like, just for that MMO. They were fantastic cinematics.
Honestly, and some of the games had great stories.
Yep.
Yeah, true. Also true.
I honestly had somebody different, but I kind of want to take what Kirby just said, because that person just sounds badass.
Oh, she's, I'm going to send you the trailer, like, for that game that just shows her going off. Like, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, please send that over. I also had Mace as mine, just because the dude's just got a swagger to him. Dude's a badass, has a purple lightsaber. Just very different, and I really like that. Ashoka was another one I was going to talk about. I think she's a dope character.
I was actually almost going to say Master Plo Koon for how that storyline ties into Ahsoka and kind of how that connects very well, because I always thought that was a really dope character as well.
Yeah, she's cool.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm very attracted to whatever creature Rosario Dawson is. I was looking at her the other day and I was just like, yeah. I'm in. Like, new fetish alert. Like, I don't
know what this means, but hey, it's here.
That and Zoe Saldana as a blue avatar alien.
No doubt about it, bro. No doubt about it. So, I mean, you can quote me on that and keep it with me for life. Yeah. Don't let it fade in the internet. But that is,
you heard it here first. Yeah.
Rosario Dawson. Just
Yep.
So everybody gave their favorite Jedis. So I wanted to go back to the dark side. And I couldn't think of like two people, but I thought this would be a perfect matchup. So in a fight between Vader and Maul in their prime, who's winning that fight? And I'm going to go with you, Kirby.
Vader, hands down.
Not a fair question.
No contest.
I was going to say...
Vader has like just in terms of like power with the Force, not even lightsaber ability, just power with the Force, like would destroy Maul. I don't think Vader would have to lift his lightsabers, knock that.
That's why I said it was unfair. I was like, if you're talking about straight like lightsaber dueling, nah, he doesn't win at all. Like, Vader wouldn't win lightsaber dueling. But because he's so overpowered using the Force, he doesn't have to. Because he's like a fucking like original G.I. Joe robot. He wasn't even like opposable yet. You know what I mean? Like, he's not very flexible. He's not what the action figures we got now that can do actions and shit. He's more like,
he's rigid. He's very rigid.
He's very rigid. Rigor mortis, man. Dead ass body he's got.
So Vader's winning.
I don't think that's a fair question.
Vader's winning.
I don't think that's.
So then
Vader hands down. Yeah.
So should I ask a different one then? Because I did have one that you guys kind of brought up earlier.
Well, I'll tell you this. I think that Maul wins it if somehow he can find a way to force propel a headbutt Vader in the chest. The spikes on his head.
Yeah.
We'll handle that. That's my final. Okay.
That's good. Well, okay, so then we'll skip that question because we know Vader's going to win hands down. But I did want to ask, if there was one Star Wars movie that they would make, what would it be that you guys want to see?
You mean like what kind of storyline?
Yeah, like what kind of storyline? Like what would you want in that movie? Like something that we haven't seen yet that you've just like been dying to have like be on film already. And I'm going to start with you, Kirby.
Okay, so this might be a little bit against the grain for Star Wars because all the movies and the majority of the content is centered around like Jedi and Sith and stuff like that, the Force users. I would love to see a movie or series of movies based around the X-Wing books. So if you pay attention to like primarily the like the Death Star runs in both A New Hope and Return of the Jedi, one of the pilots is Wedge Antilles, and the books, the X-Wing series, focuses around him and his his reformation of Rogue Squadron, and turns them into like an elite fighting like group. It's great stories, great series of books, and I would just love to see that because some of the battles that they depict in in the books are fantastic. So I would go with the X-Wing series of books.
Weren't they doing that with that like Squadron movie? But I think it got canned, didn't it?
I wouldn't want current Star Wars to do it because Disney fucks everything up.
You're first.
I think it depends. Are they doing it as a series, and it's the same people who do like Mando and Book of Boba? And
no, it was
like
going to be what's her name? She did the Wonder Woman.
Oh, well, I mean, which Wonder Woman?
Both. Yeah,
it's the
same person.
That's an important
Patty
distinction.
Jenkins.
Again, we're going to dive back into that. Which Wonder Woman?
Well, she did both. It was Patty Jenkins, but I think
She did both?
Yeah.
She did good on the first one. She
Patty
fucked up that
Jenkins.
second one so bad?
Yeah.
Patty
Yikes.
Jenkins.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate, man.
Really
Damn.
Her name.
But I think they canned it, so it's okay, guys. There's nothing to worry about.
Patty Jenkins.
So yeah, that's my answer. The X-Wing series of books.
Gums, what about you?
Yeah, I would love to go back in time as far as we possibly could go when there was 5 kangaroos with different elements fighting the evil. I'm just kidding. That's a different movie.
I was like, hey, yo,
It's
what?
a different movie entirely. But if you could name that movie, go ahead and write
Kangaroo
into
Jack?
us. No. And I'll let you guys know at the end of the podcast. But I'd love to see like the beginning of the Rise of the Jedi. Basically, I'd love that movie to even be named The Rise of the Jedi, and I would love for it to, or even The Rise of the Force. I want to see how they got their abilities. I want to see who discovered it. I want to see where, because it had to have balance. So I wonder if there was like a mass extinction of some sort, and then people started gaining these abilities because of it. But I want to see how it all started, and then that would probably allow the gray Jedi, the people who I probably, the anti-heroes of the world and stuff like that, to get involved. And I'd like to see more on that because we could get rid of the Skywalker shit. I don't care about the Skywalker family. Like, this shit sounds like the Rockefellers. I just wanted somebody else. I want it to be about somebody else. I want to see new cool stuff. So that's what I'd like to see. Maybe the start of all this, and get away from anything related with the people we already know.
Pat?
Yeah, I'm actually in a pretty similar boat to Gums here. And I think I would. My thought is definitely a little bit more centered around like a lot of the stuff that kind of exists in like the Old Republic, either books or games, and kind of thing. The stuff that exists, like I know that canon doesn't necessarily really line up very well. I know that people have poked a lot of holes in those, but I still think that's really good storyline that it can exist. Like to Gums' point, like really far in front of the current Star Wars timeline that we see. And maybe find a way to tie those together a little bit clearer and have it kind of exist in a world where it's like, to Gums' point, where it is really kind of morally kind of gray and not necessarily Jedi and Sith, and maybe have that grow into how that separation exists and how we get, the holocrons, and then how that ties into like the more formation of the Sith and Jedi Order as that trilogy would like kind of progress, right? And then cap that off into how we view the Republic and how that kind of tied together, and have that be its own kind of little trilogy, or like trilogy plus a show, and have like that be its own kind of storyline that feeds into the universe.
I actually love that you said that and brought out the holocrons, because think about this. Holocrons are not easy to make, right?
No.
These are legacies they left for the Sith. Yet the quote unquote most powerful Sith have a ton of trouble breaking these holocrons and a ton of trouble creating these holocrons. So I mean, that means that the Sith before you had to be more powerful than you, right? Or more creative or better in some way. So I want to take what you said about holocrons and stuff and about the creation and really have that added to the movies. That would be so amazing.
Yeah,
that would be really cool.
Yeah. And I think that there's a lot to dive into in the area of like the existence of the universe that was pre-Jedi and Sith, and like exploring that idea of like where the split really was in the Force, because there's like a lot of shit that exists in like those games and those books where like everyone's still just kind of like a soldier and a warrior in their own like kind of world, and they weren't necessarily at each other's throats as Force users. And then like, so then where's the divide, and like where does that exist, and then figuring out how that kind of creates the world we know.
I think it'd be sad because, and if somebody made it nowadays, I bet what they'd do is they'd say Luke Skywalker created a rift in time space, went back in time and created.
I'm not in on that. Yeah, I'm not there for
time
it.
travel.
It's not a
Then they
multiverse.
rescind my comment. I'm out.
This
Never
isn't
mind.
Doctor
You know
Strange.
that's what they would do if anything Marvel related and Disney related is doing that shit. They're
yeah.
gonna parallel universe, reverse the time flow, and say he created his own thing.
Hey, if you didn't know, Kevin Feige is also running Marvel or Star Wars now. So
See,
Oh, that's a new thing?
ties in.
Yeah, it's newer.
It ties in. We'll see him on the next, Wakanda Forever or something.
basically, they wanted him to do what he did with Marvel for Star Wars, so they hired him to oversee all of the projects.
I mean, that does give me some hope.
It does.
For
For
but-
sure.
It does give me some more hope. I
Yeah.
will say, yes. I agree with
Feige's
that.
done an amazing job with Marvel. Without him, it would not be as popular as it is.
I mean, definitely relative to the most recent Star Wars films, right? Which were pretty universally not liked, right? You know, so you got to say that, it's definitely a low bar to beat, but like definitely gives you better hope for a lot of stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, for me, there's two things. So one, I really want to see kind of like an epic journey, like a quest to find like the first Kyber crystal and then them building a lightsaber. Like I want to see a lightsaber get made. Like I feel like we really haven't seen that. And then I also want a movie just about the Sith. Like I want to see it from their perspective. Like we always see it from like Luke's or like the Jedi side. Like I want to see it from their perspective and just see like that storyline unfold. Like, you know how we got like a trilogy with Luke? I want like a trilogy with like just some random freaking Sith and going through that.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
I'd love that, Seth. You're speaking my language.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I want the
There-
dark side.
There is probably about a 3 or 4 episode span that exists in one of the seasons of the Clone Wars where Ahsoka is taking some newer Padawans. Ahsoka and Yoda are taking some newer Padawans to create their first lightsaber, and that kind of starts to dabble in that.
Yeah.
Doesn't really get too deep, I will say, but like it does give you probably a base overview of how it's done, and like it goes into more like that idea of like the crystal chooses you, and like it's like a pairing, and then they go into actually like, what you want to make the lightsaber out of it. It's like this whole redemption type of thing where they save everybody and it's all well and good, right?
It's like Thor
I
looking
love
for his
the
hammer.
idea. What's that?
Thor looking for a new weapon. We could have that
Kind
as
of,
a lightsaber.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
similar, right? Like that's kind of the redemption arc or whatever. But I love the idea of seeing it from the Sith's perspective. I think that's cool.
Yeah. If you're listening, Kevin
Before-
Feige, make it happen.
let's have this happen. And before we move on to the next section here, I do want to add like a quick other idea for potential movie is if you've not looked up any expanded universe stuff, there is a thing called the Yuzon Vong War. The Yuzon Vong were a race of people that came from outside of the Star Wars galaxy and pretty much almost destroyed the entire like Star Wars galaxy. Like they didn't use machines. Like they were all like their starships and stuff were all organically grown, like their armor and stuff. So they saw machines as like blasphemy. They hated the Jedi, hated the Sith, and almost like destroyed everything. It's an absolutely epic series of books. So also, if you're listening,
Interesting.
make that one happen.
That sounds pretty dope.
That's where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No more good guys. It's over. I guess speaking to that a little bit more, I guess going back to the lightsaber thing, if you guys could pick any color for your lightsaber, what would it be? And I'm going to start with you, Pat.
Oh, the Temple Knight Gold, for sure.
Yeah.
It's fucking gangster. Yeah, if I could have one of those double-sided gold lightsabers, that'd be fucking sick. I'm in. Sign me up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
That totally fits with your Hufflepuff thing too.
Yeah.
Fucking callback, baby. Let's go. Yeah.
Yellow lightsabers typically mean like purity of spirit and stuff like that. So that fit.
I'm in. Bring it
like
back.
it.
Let's go.
And I think they said that the gold. So if you don't know much about lightsabers, from what I understand, is first of all you need a kyber crystal, which is like a living being. That crystal's alive. So not only, it has it has that in it, right? So it's alive, and you focus in on that crystal. It's really dangerous to create your lightsaber, and then the color of your lightsaber represents your personality, and you can actually have your lightsaber change color. You know what I mean? So they say that the orange one is for people who have like given up their old past and like their old person and namesake and all that stuff and become somebody new. And so in the case of those temple guards, they've given up what they were to become nothing, to become temple guards. So in your case, if you're willing to give up your identity, Patrick, and become somebody new, maybe like
I'm giving it up.
He's no one.
I'm giving it up. I'm literally giving it up just for the swagger.
Become Matrick.
It's because it's zero honor, zero like pure of spirit. I'm giving up my old self just for the swag of a gold lightsaber. That's it.
Yeah,
no one.
That counts.
I'm laying it all on the table. Yeah, I'm laying everything on the table. I just want to look dope. That's it.
That's great.
I see you over there.
I thought you should know. I thought you should know that though, because lightsaber crystal and colors can actually change depending on
price to pay.
Yeah.
What to tell you?
Yeah. It's not a bad thing though,
No.
Yeah.
I want a gold one too. That's pretty cool. It's not my choice, but
It's pretty righteous.
Kirby, what about you? Who you pick? What are you picking? What color?
I'm gonna be a basic bitch and go green.
Okay.
Because green tends to be like people with like green kyber crystals, green lightsabers are they tend to just be much more experienced, and they have like a really deep connection to the Force, they don't really rely on just like fighting skill. It's more skill with the Force, a lot of wisdom, and they tend to be some of the higher ranked Jedi. So I think I'm gonna have to go green.
Kirby.
I like
Out
that.
of context, I would have thought you talked dirty to us.
Oof.
So let me tell you something about the green saber. It's experience.
It's seasoned,
Wisdom.
baby. Yeah.
And that Force, that Force.
Damn.
Gums, what are you
Mixed
hitting
vapor
us
rum.
with?
Okay.
The fucking black saber, bro.
Okay.
Black saber, white outline, only one known to be in canon. The Mandalorians use it. I just think that's sick. Like, if I attack you at nighttime, it's a wrap. Because you're not seeing this saber. It's like a white outline, but like you're just gonna see a white outline before you die. If you're fighting me with the green lightsaber or purple, whatever color you want, I'm seeing that thing. That thing's lighting up. The fireflies are running into it. Like, you know what I mean? It's fine. But I'm coming through with the fucking black saber, and it's built more like a sword, where it has that thin blade to it instead of that I don't know, that popsicle shape. You know what I mean? Like, I'm coming through crazy, man.
That's actually a great call out. That dark saber is sick.
Yeah.
It is really cool.
Saber's dope. Yeah.
Yeah, I choose the dark saber 100%. And if not, I rock with Ashoka's white sabers. I really just love that they're so like rare in color, and I just think they're dope. So
I like that. So my color is cyan. I love like just like the light blue like mixture of green. And I was looking up like the meaning behind it, and because it has both green and blue in it, it kind of combines them. But if you're going just the color cyan by itself, it represents the feeling of calmness, ocean water, and peace. Someone who is careful but has a capacity for change when needed. And I was like, that sounds pretty sweet.
yeah,
And I like the
you
ocean.
feel like you relate to that?
Yeah, I love it.
I would. They need $1 million idea time. You ready, boys?
Let's hear it.
Yeah. What you got?
You know you can go on Pottermore on Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
And so you can go on Pottermore and you can find out what wand you'd have. I'm gonna need to take a quiz to find out what lightsaber I should wield.
Let's make one.
I feel like that's got to exist, right? Like that's got to
most
be a
definitely.
thing.
I don't know. Ice cube trays didn't exist until somebody said I'm sick of chopping ice.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
If I go to
I
StarWars.com
feel like that's
right
got to
now,
be like a
can I
BuzzFeed
take a
thing.
test?
Like, I feel like BuzzFeed's got to have one of those ones where like you can go in and like choose your
There
fucking
is
lightsaber.
one. Yeah.
I'll send it to the
I
group.
want
I
it
just
to
Googled
be. I want it to be. I sent it to the group, yes, but I want it to be on the official Star Wars page because, like Pottermore, they take you through like some crazy cool shit, and then they explain it, and then they break it down, and it's from them, so it's official lore. I don't want BuzzFeed to say, by the way, do you want to lose 50 pounds? Click this ad as I'm scrolling through, and then it's like, oh, did you see Jessica Biel's new movie? And it's like, click this ad. So
yeah,
Anyways,
that'd be
fair.
pretty cool. I would like to know what my
$1 idea.
lightsaber color is.
who wouldn't?
White's cool. So going back to the Force, the light, the dark, everything in between. But if you had to pick between light or dark, which side are you picking? And we'll go with you, Gums.
Yeah, I'm going wherever Kirby's going.
Kirby, where you going?
This motherfucker got wisdom and
Kirby, where you
Following
going?
the boys, yeah. I'm following the boys.
He knows what happened.
You're our fearless
Going into the
leader.
Future.
You're our fearless leader.
So as much as I like to play up like, oh, I would go dark side, fuck everybody, I'm such a light side bitch. Because even when I play like video games and there's like the moral system, like I'm going Paragon. It's just who I am as a person. So the light side, even though they tend to be more pacifist, they try to like, reason first. There are still, people on the light side, the Jedi, that can fuck shit up. So
Yeah.
no, the capacity is there. So I go light side.
Yeah.
Light.
No matter what I ended up, maybe I'm the Link and like maybe I end up dark side and I'm just Curb's opposite, but we get together on Sundays to listen to polka music.
Yeah, you're just like casually boys. Like
Hey,
you guys are like those memes that it's like when you and your boy hit different wavelengths, but you're all still boys. It's like
Well,
it's like
stated,
Marilyn Manson and Paul McCartney kind of thing, like or something like that.
We
like-
have stated that we're yin and yang on this. So
You're like Shoka. You're in between. You're in the middle.
I can imagine us walking into the pub and Kirby's like, I will take a vegan burger. And I'm like, I will want my lobster live in front of me. I will be the one to assassinate it. You know what I mean?
It sounds like a
your
buddy cop
lightsaber,
movie. It sounds like a buddy cop movie that I didn't know I needed,
Yes.
but with lightsabers.
Yeah,
oh,
we
that'd be
have to-
amazing.
I have to prove Kirby's innocence and take him through the hood.
I changed my mind. That's what I want in a movie: is a buddy cop movie with like a Sith and a Jedi just going together, just fucking shit up around town. That's what I want.
So you want
above
lethal
the
weapon in
Republic.
space?
Yes.
Yeah, you want lethal
Like,
weapon in space.
Give me Schmidt as the good guy from New Girl, and Winston
Yeah.
as the Sith.
No one's above the Republic, man. They got it. The Republic said they did something they didn't do, and these two got to team up to make it happen.
a ragtag group.
So Seth, so it wasn't like a comedy. It wasn't, funny at all, but there is a series of books called The Fate of the Jedi. That happens like later in like the Legends canon and stuff, where Luke Skywalker does have to team up with some Sith who actually also tie into that book that I was telling you to check out, Gums, the Lost Tribe of the Sith. They kind of connect, but there is a couple sections in these books where they have to like team up and fight, and it's actually kind of funny seeing like the two different ideologies and personalities like go back and forth. But
I just like
anyway,
I just imagine it being where it's like what was it? The Dark Knight Rises, where like Batman and Catwoman are fighting on the roof, and they're like, no guns. And the Jedi's just like, no lightsabers. You can't kill that one.
Oh shit!
Was that everybody? I guess are we just following
No.
following
Peace
Kirby?
Spice.
What do you got?
I didn't get
know.
my. I so like kind of similar to Kirby. When I do play video games that have morality things, like I am that guy that will like always try and go for good. But like that being said, it is just like the dark side powers are just so much cooler. Like just in like every way, it's like really hard to deny that like they just, as much as they're fucking assholes, they just look arguably doper. Like, right? Like in like every way. So it's like, just on the surface level, you want me to pick like which one I'm going for? I'm going for the dark side. Like just as is, like very surface level, not overthinking that far too deep into it. I just want to shoot lightning out of my hands. That's all it really kind of boils down to. Like,
Facts.
Yeah.
I make it rain. I make it rain. I make it rain.
My power's out, Pat. Hook me up.
Yeah, just trying to be able to cook my food without paying a gas bill. That's all it is. Like,
who needs an air fryer when you got these babies?
Yeah, who needs an air fryer when I shoot lightning out of my hands? Like,
my dude's finger's gonna be so crusty, bro.
just dusted from literally cooking every meal with my hands.
Yeah.
Like,
honestly, I want to be like in the middle. Like I want powers from both sides. I just want to go around, do my own thing. I'm like be a bounty hunter, kind of just traveling around. I don't want to be good or bad. I'm gonna be in the middle.
You're just trying to vibe.
Just trying to vibe.
Just trying to vibe. You know.
You know. I don't know if the
Until
day's
somebody
gonna
kills the woman you love, and then you start murdering half the universe.
Hey,
Yeah.
maybe
You're basically like Wolverine when he goes out to the woods and the military comes like, I can't help you guys anymore. I'm on my own thing. They're like, they have the woman you love. All right, I'm in. Like,
bro, that sounds sick.
Thus starts your 7-movie arc that like ends in shambles. Like,
I would love to have a miniseries starring Seth Fox.
That'd be amazing.
right.
Can we please make it happen?
Yes.
I'll fucking
We
run
can
around
make
with a
it happen
lightsaber.
and put it on this fucking podcast.
Yeah, I'll run around with a lightsaber.
We'll edit the audio. We'll do all the editing ourselves because that will
There you
add
go.
to the nostalgia.
And then we just gotta do react episodes where all we do is just react to the episodes with Seth in it. Like,
Yeah.
it's our own react content to our own TV show.
Hey, if we can't get famous off the podcast, put me in a short film.
Ooh, I call dibs on like half the script.
And then Seth hides in a
that'd be
box, and then they find him at the end of the movie.
Seth gets knocked out 5 minutes into the movie.
Oh man!
You know that would
Also a
happen.
throwback to another episode.
Yes, sir.
Callbacks are real today.
That's,
Yes, they are.
This is what season 2 is all about the good memories and moving forward.
Exclusively callbacks. This is all we do. Is like if you come into this podcast late, you're not gonna understand shit. So you have to go rewatch all of the original episodes and then watch us.
20 episodes in season 1. Get on
It's
it.
just gonna be like
You can tell
hours
you're
of
in sales
inside
with the
jokes.
callbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of inside jokes, Kirby, do you have any characters that are John McClane-esque that we can pick
That's
from?
a good. Who is John McClane in the Star Wars? This is the hard hitting question of the day. Actually,
Who would John honestly, you know what? Do like with kind of like the attitude and everything like that, like Mace Windu. Like, because, you know, he's got kind of like that fuck it, like, you know, badass attitude. He's got the swagger. Yeah.
There, you heard it here first. Mace Windu is John McClane. Honestly, that fits really well. I like that. There's no complaints.
because I mean, I know you didn't say it earlier, but like your favorite Star Wars movie has to be Die Hard, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
There's no way it's not, right?
What?
At least I'm not the one saying this, okay?
You really did have the best setup for this one. It was in the fucking movie question, the script questions before we started. Missed opportunity. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's fair.
I would love for somebody from the Star Wars universe to be like, hey, you know, 3,000 years ago, there was a movie called Die Hard, and they just like bring that shit up randomly.
Yeah.
I'd love shit like that in the Star Wars universe. That'd
I'm
be great.
walking out of the theater. I'm going straight home. I'm out.
Seriously,
And then
if
they'll say,
anybody,
hey, Pat.
if anybody from
I'm calling
Star
you-
Wars,
yeah.
the writers are listening, we need
Kevin.
a Die Hard reference, and Pat Shearer needs to be in the credits.
Honestly, I'm gonna tweet.
In
walking
this
out of
case,
the-
Matrix Shear.
Yeah.
I'm
With his
gonna.
orange lightsaber.
Go ahead.
I'm walking out of the theater and I'm texting you guys saying I quit the pod. I'm out. I'm good.
We're
You
done.
can't quit the pod.
they put Die Hard. They put Die Hard in Star Wars. I'm out.
I'm gonna tweet at Taika Waititi because he's making his own Star Wars movie, and I'm gonna
that's
tweet
fair.
at him to put John McClane, just name drop that or Die Hard anywhere in the movie. And if anybody could do it, Taika Waititi
They need
can
to
do
like
it.
they need to like hide like a VHS copy of Die Hard like somewhere on a shelf or
Yeah.
some shit. Like it
Yes.
just somewhere like some random Easter egg. It just is there for no fucking reason. Like
Put it in a
Oh, that'd be
holocron, dog.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be so great.
it's a
they
projector.
open a holocron.
Just
It's
in
just
the
like
back.
it's just an image of a Die Hard VHS. That's it. Or it's like, or it's just Nakatomi Tower. Like it's like the only thing that's there.
It's Bruce Willis doing like that that scene when he's in the fucking
the vent.
shaft. He's like,
Yeah.
let's get together, have a few laughs.
Yeah, that actually the reference of that tower would be dope as a building in that universe.
Yeah.
That'd be easy.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be great.
There you have it. We're gonna tweet at Taika. That's gonna be good. Whatever movie he's making.
Yeah, that I'm pretty excited for that.
I hope it's more banter from the one episode where the stormtroopers were trying to shoot the ground.
Okay.
The can. I want just that. 'Cause that's the buddy cop movie we're talking about right there.
That's the buddy
Oh yeah,
cop.
that was great. Yeah.
Just two-
Would you be surprised if Taika Waititi was making a buddy cop Star Wars movie? I would.
No, absolutely not.
I think that'd be fucking hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
I would want him to make that movie.
And I'd watch it, like
Yeah.
hands down.
yeah, oh for sure, I'm there. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna send this transcript, like this whole recording, to Taika, and we'll hear what he says.
There you go.
So obviously we've talked about the lightsabers, the powers of the Force, but there's so many cool vehicles, so many. If you could have any vehicle in the Star Wars universe, what would it be? And I'm gonna start with you first, Pat.
I mean, it's an AT-AT, right? It's got to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
There you go.
I would love nothing more than to be cruising around fucking Vegas right now in an AT-AT, just like pull up to my Target parking lot and just like casually walk in like I'm going to service an account. Like just
Duster
for
hanging
no
out your
fuck-
back pocket.
Yeah,
you know?
I've got my box cutter, like I've got my iPad. I'm just surveying the store, like
That's
my
actually
manager's,
amazing.
manager's
Can your,
freaking out to like.
tagline- Can your tagline be like "Don't at me"? 'Cause
Don't at it.
I think I'm down for that.
That'll be my license plate, like on the AT-AT. That'll be my
Yeah.
custom one. And I'll just say, like, don't at me.
Don't at me.
Yes.
That is actually
That'd be
amazing.
That's pretty great. Yeah.
No one's getting road rage in that thing. No one's gonna piss you off.
No, right?
As the AT-AT's neck turns back to look at who's honking.
Yeah, the honk, you just see like the
What'd you
thing
say?
just casually turn. This whole thing just sounds like a
Lasers come
bad.
down. It's
Yeah, this whole thing just sounds like a bad Family Guy. Like
I was just
cutscene.
about to say,
Yeah, you know what I
it sounds
mean?
like one of the
Yeah,
Family
they're
Guy
gonna
Star
steal
Wars
us for
specials.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gums. What about you, sir?
Yeah, there's too many like ships in here, and if I name one, nobody would even know what the hell it is anyway. But I will describe the type of ship that I want. So I either want to ride around in the Death Star, and I'm getting it. If I don't need a ship that big, I want one that's probably at least, I would probably say 100 to 600 meters big, because I would want to be like, I'd want this to be like a mansion that could go in space. So I don't want anything that's just like strictly on the ground. Maybe I've got an AT-AT within my ship that just drops down or something that I can walk around in it. But I
Yeah.
want it to be big enough where I can space travel at light speed so I can just go to places. So that's the type of vehicle I want. If I can't have like a giant, like, I don't know, like a Star Destroyer or something like that. And, you can't pilot that on your own. It's like a 10,000 crew ship. Then fuck you. I'll take something that's about 600 meters or so. That's about 600 meters is what, like a third of a mile? Like that's a pretty decent sized ship.
Oh, yeah.
And I could rock around in that for sure.
Yeah.
So you need
That's
something
fair.
that's not too big that you need like 1,000-person crew to operate it, but you want something big enough that you're like, I can fucking cruise space in this, and it's not gonna be an issue.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean,
yeah.
like, what is it? From shit, what was it's from like Rebels or something. Hera's ship, the Ghost.
Oh yeah, that's a good comparison, I would say.
Yeah, it's like a VCX 100 or something like that.
I can't
think
remember.
I
I can't remember what it
mentioned
was
at one
actually
point,
called. Yeah, but like I know what you're talking about. Do we lose audio on Gums?
No.
Oh, I was just saying there's so many of those damn ships.
There's a
Oh
lot.
yeah.
So it's just
There's-
like
yeah.
they're all something. But I like having a decent sized ship would be perfect.
I want.
Yeah.
I don't need a Boba Fett little bitch ass ship. He gets shot out of the
Yeah,
air
no.
all the time.
Fair, yeah. I think this was down way too much.
I'm doing the shooting.
So the only thing that was good out of the new movies was Kylo Ren's ship, and that's what I want.
Oh yeah.
That thing is so dope.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'd say that.
It's just like an upgraded TIE fighter, and it looks sick.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks kind of like it has like giant bat ears, dude. It's Batman and Star Wars.
Batmobile meets space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all chromed out. Gotta have some good looking wheels, you know?
Yeah.
Definitely.
For
Definitely.
the space ladies.
Exactly. All them aliens. That Rosario Dawson.
All them aliens.
All them aliens. All that Rosario Dawson.
With the little weak car, man.
Did you say you want a Boba Fett ship, bro? You ain't bringing a Shoka back in there.
Nah, couldn't be.
You'll have Anakin's pod racer, bro.
Hey, yo, I'm saying this now. F the Skywalkers. Don't add at me. Come hit me up.
Don't add at me.
Man. Well, speaking of Anakin, bringing up the last topic of the day here.
No,
we have one more?
Whoa, Kirby.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Why
Kirby.
do I not get to pick a?
I'm sorry. I thought you already
Cool
went.
Your fucking,
Sorry,
cool your
Curbs.
fucking jets here.
Jeez, guys, I'm sorry.
When you're from the light side, you're totally forgotten about that shit.
Yeah,
just- apparently, yeah,
She
apparently.
just kicked you to the fucking curb, man.
Damn.
Too fucking passive, bro.
Cut that out. Yikes. Sorry, Kirby. I still love you.
It's okay.
Your response is valid here, okay? I want you to know that.
Light side views better.
He almost got Order 66 in this cancel culture.
Yeah, his own podcast.
Yeah, yikes.
He just bans him from the server. Just gets out of here.
Oy, oy.
Okay, all right. So I would go with an acclimator class assault ship. So
That
actually
was so
goes
specific.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
I know.
Holy fuck. He's ready.
I knew. Oh, I knew.
Goes into Google
So-
right now.
You can look it up if you want to. Like it's
I
it's
am.
a
What's
it's
it
a
called?
dope ass
Can you
ship.
repeat that,
it's
sir?
it's an acclimator class assault ship. So a lot of like turbo laser cannons, proton torpedoes. It's like a mid-size. It's not huge.
like a
it's not
destroyer.
like a dinky. Yeah, it's like a small, like a scaled down version of a destroyer.
I want that
And then
too.
and then I would just pack the like the landing bay, the hangar with X-wings. So if I need to do any like, small scale stuff, X-wing all day.
I'm going to steal your
I've
ship.
always-
This is
This
cool.
is a
always
crew of
been-
700. It is a
Yeah.
heavy cruiser, and it can fit 320 speeder bikes.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal the ship from you somehow.
That's it. That's the one that I want. And then I'd use X-wings because I've always been obsessed with X-wings for just whatever.
Again, I'm sorry I skipped you, sir.
No,
I
we
had
didn't
the most
skip 'em.
on point.
I did. I apologize.
No, we didn't skip them because it never went through with the transaction. You know what I mean?
We'll cut that
Exactly.
part
Failed
out.
transaction. You know?
Transaction. Well, going back to the last topic of the day here. I know we've kind of talked about this already about our favorite films throughout the series, but this is just I know everybody's gonna have the same answer here. Do you prefer the original Star Wars, the first 6 movies, and the video games / books, all of that, or are you more of the sequel trilogy? So
The Disney Star Wars.
yeah, the Disney Star Wars, the remakes.
The only thing I don't like about this question is specifically the line where you say
You
the
lose
original
anyway.
6 movies, mainly because we're throwing in like the early 2000s movies with this.
This one's
Oh, of
Kirby's
course. We
Kirby's
have to.
topic.
Oh man, the original 6.
Yeah,
I mean, we can't have one without the other. Like you can't say just original trilogy and then sequels because it's really just a pre or post Disney type. That's kind of what it's breaking down to.
yeah, but it's just like the leverage that you have, because now you're looking at basically like the leverage that exists then on the first 6 movies plus the books and like canon and movies and video games and TV series and stuff like that is so wide. It's like the amount there is so heavily outweighs the other side.
So
Like,
the
there's just
amount
more
of
of it.
I'm with
content,
Pat here.
there's
Yeah.
more content, pre Disney, but there
Yeah.
are people that prefer, where Disney has taken Star Wars.
And those people belong in an insane asylum. I don't know what you want me to say about
Well,
that.
now we have
Like,
your answer. Okay.
Yeah.
What sucks is that like it's not even that what they gave us was like
It's not even rewatchable.
it's exactly my point. Like it's not
Well,
even what
okay,
they gave us
okay.
wasn't cool enough for Star Wars, is that they gave us a movie that made zero fucking sense, and they gave us 3 of them that didn't intertwine. So it's like you didn't give us a bad Star Wars movie. You gave us a bad movie because
it was terrible.
Yeah.
it doesn't make
that's fair.
sense in continuity. You know what I mean? So
I haven't
Well, and the
rewatched
thing
any of the
is-
new ones at all. Like I've
I
rewatched.
also think they should be broken though between the 3. I think there should be the what is it? The prequels,
OG
the
3.
originals, and then the sequels.
Well, you also have to
sequels.
remember that with after Disney took over, like you don't just have those 3 films. You have the TV shows. You have like the spin like one-off movies, stuff like that. So there's good content on all
Listen,
sides.
The Mandalorian wasn't enough to
Yeah.
save the new trilogy.
Wasn't
So it's
Close.
actually it's an interesting way if you actually split up this way. What if you split
Yeah.
it up like so the original 3 movies, the first 3, their own category, and then you said the prequel movies plus Clone Wars TV show plus Rebels, and maybe that first run of like books as its own category of content, and like the Old Republic video games and stuff like that, and then you said the sequel series that exists plus Solo, Rogue One, and like Boba Fett and those TV shows.
So you
Then
want to go
I
by
think
era.
I think
the
I think
scales are
those-
more even that way.
I think those 3 categories are way more even than just saying like throwing all that early stuff into one and just saying pre-post Disney. I think those scales tip a lot more even.
I hate throwing Rogue One in with those horrible films.
But that's the era. That's
know.
the only reason why that scale now becomes more balanced.
For that,
Pod racers. Oh,
I still go the
Great
original
game.
trilogy because it's just so good. Like it's just, I mean, obviously the effects weren't as good back in the day, but like,
what are we talking here? What's actually the question here? What's
I
better
think-
in what way?
I
feel like this is a
I
tough
think
question,
it's-
Kirby. We gotta come up with something different.
Just zoom in
no.
on this for me. Just so
I think it's
can
I think it's
give you a better
more
answer.
of just like base
It's more-
level.
It's
Which
preference.
Yeah.
which content in that area do you prefer? Like what's gonna be your go-to?
I feel like
May the 4th comes around one year and you're sitting down with the family and you're saying we're gonna watch some
the
Star
original
Wars
trilogy.
shit.
This,
What are you going for?
the original trilogy
Yeah.
every time, and maybe
If you're
Revenge of the
talking-
Sith.
That sucks because it's like, in terms of watching, you go original trilogy. In terms of media, games, and things like that, you go prequels and all that shit in between that and when Disney took over. And then if you want like graphics, just graphics.
Where's
You go the
Just-
new
just
stuff.
graphics.
yeah?
So here's the thing. I would normally agree with you, and normally I would have said like, yeah, like if I'm going for the movies that May the 4th type of idea, I'd say yes, I'm going for the OG original 3. And I think prior to things like The Mandalorian and like those shows kind of coming out, and what I hope will become of the Obi Wan series and shit, if you would have said what's like more like you want to sit down and watch some Star Wars content on a random Wednesday and you're not watching a full movie, you're going for more like a series time, I would have said the prequels because I would have really liked watching the Clone Wars series and Rebels and like those types of things and whatnot. But I think I axed that now because the new TV content is so good on Disney.
What
Not
about
the movies, the TV content.
what about adding in like Jedi Fallen Order and like Star Wars Unleashed? Like
Yeah,
Unleashed
the
is a
games
great
are-
storyline.
The games are involved in it too. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
where would that fall?
So this was
The
not
Force
meant to
Unleashed.
be an easy question, by
No.
the way.
Yeah.
This was not supposed to be an easy question.
I think
The
those
lightsaber.
I think you almost have to kind of split up. I think Fallen Order falls under the Disney category relative to release date.
It does.
Yeah, where would
Yeah.
it sucks because Rogue One is just such a fantastic movie. Like it's in my top 3. It's my number 2 favorite film. So it's like it's hard because the originals are so good, but some of the new content is just so phenomenal.
Yeah. But I think that's why you have to make it into 3 categories, not 2. Because it makes this so much harder.
I feel like then it would be the new trilogy, because for me personally, like, yeah, I grew up with all of these other films, but I feel like it's way more prevalent now, and it's like in your face more. Whereas like when I was growing up, yeah, maybe I watched the Attack of the Clones, the prequel movies, and obviously the original trilogy, but now it's like every other thing is Star Wars. So I'm like more I'm trying to think of the word, but it's just like I can't think of the word, but it just keeps coming back to me. You know what I'm saying?
It's called marketing.
Yeah.
It is really tough, I will say. Yeah.
There's no wrong answer here, unless you're the internet.
Yeah.
They'll bash us.
The internet. I do think I think that I gotta stick to that same answer. I think it's, if I'm picking my movie and like that's, if I'm watching movies, I think it's the OGs, because I'll watch like specifically Empire Strikes. I'll just sit down and watch Empire.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I think, you know.
Kind of want to watch it now.
Yeah, right? Like great movie and whatnot. But it's so, I keep thinking, everything in my being does not want to say the new shit, but like I love the new TV shows. I like Rogue One, and Jedi Fallen Order was a great video game.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So that is a hard lineup to say that if I sat down today and wanted Star Wars shit, I'm not going there.
I love Fallen Order.
I would I'd have to go then, if you make me force like that, then I would have to go the prequels. And I have to go the prequels because they have like the coolest, I think still some of the coolest content. They have the best video games in my opinion. I mean,
Force Unleashed.
they have a ton of video games, by the way. They have Jedi Academy, Jedi Knights,
Yep.
Jedi. Like, they have some of the best RPGs for Star Wars ever made in just that area, or when that came out. MMORPG, you know, like some of that. Then you would include in that. Then we said the Clone Wars, or is that Disney?
Yep.
So
You would include Clone Wars and Rebels. I think.
Well,
you do
that's
both.
like watching fucking anime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you take that. I don't like the movies, but man, all the content that they made during that time was some of the best content that they ever made.
I also got to say, I think the Battlefront games fall in that
Battlefront,
too, especially
yeah,
the OG ones
They do.
that were good. You know, people shit on the later ones. The
Yep.
first like 2 or 3 Battlefronts, great fucking games.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I think
so
that falls in the prequel category.
I think so does like that Rogue Squadron game or some shit. There's like a
Yeah,
flying
that game's
game. They
fun.
have like the N64 games basically fall in that same category, because that's when
Yep.
Pod Racers came out.
Oh
which
yeah,
is
Pod
still
Racers is great.
Can't forget
yeah.
Shadows of the
There's
Empire.
so much good
stuff like
content.
that.
Yeah. So that would be my answer, is like, if I had to pick one, because of literally just the games almost alone seal it. And then you've got, you know, probably some of the best content ever made for Star Wars, which was the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And then you get double lightsaber Darth Maul, one of the best, coolest villains they've ever produced.
True.
Yep.
Like as an actual villain, you know, because that epic fights and shit like that.
The fights in the prequels were the best. Like the lightsaber duels were amazing. That's where it's like it makes it tough for me, because like the reason I brought up Revenge of the Sith is that whole fight scene with Obi Wan and freaking Anakin was just so cool to see. It was like a dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On lava. Kirby?
I'm kind of breaking it down that way. I'm pretty much with Gums. Playing through like Knights of the Old Republic, like the N64 games. Rogue Squadron was one of my favorites. Shadows of the Empire, and then getting into like the late 90s with like the Star Wars, like the Jedi Knight, like Dark Forces, Jedi Outcast, Jedi Academy. Like those games were all like absolutely fantastic. So.
Yeah.
So
Fantastic.
I'm leaning that era right there.
Yeah. I actually hadn't really thought too heavily into the video games that existed in more the prequel era. And I had kind of forgotten how many there really were.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. I played a lot of Battlefront 2. Like, I played a shit ton of Battlefront 2. Like, I love that fucking game.
The game is a blast.
Magic.
Like, yeah.
And I like that you could be like the Jedi too. Or like be like Sith or Jedi and just like fight each other.
You would like that shit.
Bro, it was great. Being Darth Maul.
Those are great. Those
Always
are
a
great.
blast. Well, there's
Gotta be the
Mrs.
regular
Kirby.
Stormtrooper.
So, yeah, on that note, this is only the first episode of Star Wars. We got a whole month talking about this. So if there's anything that you guys want us to talk about, basically just get on in more depth on, just let us know. Shoot us an email. It's rollingcreditspodcast@gmail.com. Again, rollingcreditspodcast@gmail.com. And then Gums, send us off, baby.
Do or do not. There is no try. Become a Sith Lord. Keep it rolling.
Perfect.